So what kind of assets are we currently seeing being tokenized? What have you done so far?
So the most traction we've got so far are sustainables like carbon and hydrogen.
Yeah, we've seen quite a lot of that.
Yeah, by the way, the whole carbon issuance, it filled within 3 days. Fantastic. And, being able to say that we've got Swiss Re involved in that deal, it's a big deal, things like that you can actually say that type of thing to the industry. Wake up everybody, this isn't just talk anymore. Here it is, it's happening. We are seeing a lot of traction in real estate.
So every real estate person I've ever spoken to,
yeah,
the bigger they are, the more they're interested in this, because they just think new market, new liquidity,
absolutely,
new ways of raising capital. Yeah, the St. Regis, the hotel in Asia. I mean,
we're doing several hotels, actually, yeah. So it's the build-out of hotel complexes.
Yeah.
We're doing several of those. We've got our first security token offering coming up. I listed off the criteria. It's something like, if memory off the top of my head, about 72 million of revenue last year, 15% compounding growth. It's got 1,100 employees, 25 locations. They're doing an equity offering, right? We've got a couple of wealth management funds where they're simply white labeling what we've got, bolting it and adding it through the APIs into their existing product set. It'll be tokenized for the end user. The end users won't know that, though. It'll just bolster the funds in general for me, whatever the asset, is that you can deploy a liquid secondary market with an AMM for them in parallel with the issuance. So we're doing that with one of the funds in Asia. There should be an announcement maybe next month on that. What they're doing is tokenizing a proportion of the fund they've just done the raise on. And the LPs, it's a private LP AMM where they can exit in theory from day one for the first time. They're not locked in for that 5 to 7 year maybe payback period you're used to. We are at a point now where with the types of issuances we are 100% are doing this year with our client base that are filling out already, that you're getting close to that exact future you're describing, which is the technology becomes largely invisible and seamless to the end user, and it augments what they're able to do, which is to effectively say, I can take a selective store of value within a wider portfolio in a fairly liquid form, very efficiently, to anything, whether it's some high-value whiskey, whether it's a particular supercar that's a 1 of 3 limited edition. A lot of these things are stores of value, and if you want to selectively buy in or out of those, you as you say, you either buy the entire thing, or most people are priced out and you can't currently, and it's very hard to resell. The fractionalization of it, therefore, and this fungible trading of them in a liquid form is the true end game here for tokenization, at least from my perspective, and what we're aiming to do, which is facilitate as much of this in as many industries as possible.
And what about the asset management industry and their products overall? Because we're starting to see it, right? They all want to do it. I know the team at Apollo and Blackstone and BlackRock and all of these guys, they're desperate to tokenize as much as possible because they've got these big illiquid closed-end funds.
Yep.
Private equity funds. That's probably the biggest thing. And they're like, we just want other people to get in and create illiquid pools. Because what happens is the liquidity is so bad. So 2022 and 23, everyone's desperate for liquidity.
Yeah.
And these things are trading 20 cents on the dollar because there's no liquid market. And it's kind of super inefficient.
It is, yeah. I mean, I've had a lot of meetings with these larger players.
And what you're really doing here is getting rid of middlemen.
Yes, and that's something the finance industry is very well aware of, actually. Sometimes we talk to asset managers and they've worked out, we don't actually need the investment banks in the way we did for so many different things for this. If we use you for these and these things, do we? And then I remember talking to Euroclear, they came to me and said, so we're interested in tokenization, and how would we fit into the settlement process? And I explained, it's instant, the settlement. It's a feature of blockchain, so you don't have a role at this point. You're going to need to change your business
And they don't need to be the ledger, because Euroclear are the ledger for the entire bond market, equity market in Europe.
So much as I think it's the scale of this is going to surprise people. Because if you think about what tends to excite crypto right now, let's say, does a $100 million issuance sound exciting? Probably does to crypto right now. But it's actually a drop in the ocean for real world assets, absolutely tiny. So when we've said that, we now have clients that are tracking for over $1 billion easily over the next year, people seem to think that's huge right now, but it's actually very small in the context of real world assets. Where what's the global bond market at now? Is it 150 trillion, something like that? Yeah. Just that one asset class. All it takes is a couple of successful issuances to take place for that to really encourage more of an opening of the floodgates to me. And I see that happening because most of the clients we're working with, they're not just doing a one-off with us, they're doing many. This is just the first one. And we've got one client, they have got between 50 and 60 deals they want to tokenize and go out with us on.
What kind of deals?
They're a variety, actually. So that's what makes them so interesting. They are doing several property ones. They are doing several related to fund raising. They also have a couple on the carbon side as well. They seem to be the recurrent themes, though, coming up and again and again and again. But they each of the deal sizes is not huge. It's in the sort of somewhere between 5 and 50 million USD each deal. Mm-hmm. But you're talking 50 of them. So the next year ahead for us is very much one of scaling now for the first time. You know, we've been in the build phase throughout 2 crypto winters, and it's been heads down. While everyone was having fun last cycle, we were just busy building. You know,
and being miserable.
And very miserable during that period. Yeah, everyone else is having fun here. Yet again, we're missing this while we're building. For us, 100%, it's about scaling now. I mean, and talking as a business owner, we are now facing the internal growing pains of client onboarding, scaling up, adding customer support individuals, hiring additional development teams, and things to scale up the back office. The administration side as well, the sales team to build up further pipelines. The list goes on. I'm now pleased to be able to say that's the problem we have.